Continuamos con el segundo día del set de conocimiento de Heimtextil Colombia 2025 con un speaker muy top que nos visita desde Irán. Él es Javad Eiraji, presidente de Tramod Academy. Es arquitecto, académico y presidente de Tramod Academy, la primera academia internacional del mundo dedicada al estudio de las interacciones entre la tradición y la modernidad en la arquitectura y el diseño. También es CEO de Estudio Eiraji, un estudio dedicado a la práctica de la arquitectura y el diseño, y director del Premio Internacional Tramod Awards. El principal enfoque de investigación y diseño de Javad gira en torno a la cultura y la identidad en la arquitectura contemporánea y las interacciones entre la tradición y la modernidad y el diseño. Su pregunta central, tanto en el diseño como en la vida, es cómo mantener el pasado junto al presente. Javad también ha sido ganador y jurado en diversos concursos internacionales de diseño y arquitectura. Hoy nos estará dando su conferencia Decodificando el pasado, el presente y el futuro del hábitat. Recibamos por favor a nuestro speaker con un fuerte aplauso.
Hello to everyone. My name is Javad Iraji from Iran Tramod Academy. Before I start my presentation, I want to thank Inex Moda and the great team for inviting me to this international great event. Today I will talk about past, today, and future interaction between tradition and modernity in design. And the place that we are working, Tramod Academy, is a world's first international academy for studying interaction between tradition and modernity in architecture and design. So my presentation today is about this. If you look at these pictures, I have two interesting shots about fashion, textile, and interior design. And the keywords that I have used here are past, tradition, and identity. We can study this, we can focus on this about architecture, interior, textile, and fashion design. How the past can be beside today, how tradition can be beside modernity, how we can update whatever we had before, how we can use, how we can introduce this for today's generation, for today's user, is a topic that we are working on professionally. In this picture, the background that you see is Persian and Middle East traditional texture. As a background. And the lady that you see here with the scarf, with the special clothes, updated modern, and updated makeup that she had on her face is going to create a conflict between these two cases. So is it fine or no? Is it usable or no? Is the topic is the case that we in all projects are looking for. And when you are looking at the picture on the right, the interior design of a traditional house seems very interesting. But the furniture that is using in this place, in this atmosphere, maybe can be for more today users. So this opposite things is the case that we want to talk about this. We have two pictures here. The left one is about interior design, and the right one is about fashion design and maybe textile. But again, as you can see in this right photo, the atmosphere is completely in an old and traditional case. But the type of the user, the type of the fashion design, the type of the textile that's having used in this design project, again, is and it's part of traditional architecture. So by creating this, we are going to have a conflict again between tradition and modernity. I have two questions here, and I think it's important to talk about this. Do we love the past? Do we love the tradition? I am going to present my presentation by comparing, by sharing some question, and by finding answers for discussion. Maybe we can come to some conclusions. Uh, by this way, I am going to start. Do we love the past? Do we love the tradition? Again, here we have two photos. Um, the right one is from the north of Africa. It was a project that was submitted to our award in architecture. If you look at this picture on the right and on the left part of the main project, we have some destroyed, we have some traditional architecture houses, architecture projects. But this project in the middle is being built recently. So they can use new updated material, they can use high technology constructions, but they use something that be different, but be friend with the neighbors of the building. In the left case, again, we have a Persian fashion, Persian clothes, and a special style. The user is for today, is a modern one, the one who is living in 2025. But the atmosphere of the house, the atmosphere of the motifs that have been used in design are something completely different. Um, from tradition, we come to an important word. It's called identity. What is the identity? And how we can keep it, how we can update it, and how we can use it for today's life, for today's generation. Again, here we have two different projects from Iran. The last one is for fashion, using architectural motifs which calls mugarnas, with a special structure. Both motif and structures, design thinking are used, the colors, the textile, all the things are the same, and we have a great combination of past and today for today's modern users. In the left hand, we have a modern house, elevation design or architecture project that we have traditional motifs inspired of traditional Qajar house, which we had in Iran around 150 years ago. And then just as a cell, just as a parametric design, it has been used in new project. So we are just now looking for the answer, what is the tradition? And in the second case, we have an important question that say, how can we identify our identity? So first, we should know what is our identity. We should keep it or no. And the third important thing is that how can we identify our identity? Again, here, this design is by one of the famous Persian fashion designs that have used Iranian traditional motifs in a form of textile, in the form of fashion design. So the next question that I want to talk, and as I said, by this question I will come to some conclusion, is that how can our identity be created? How we can know ourselves more? How we can keep it and go on by today's life? In a right hand, you can see a Persian beauty, a Persian girl, Iranian girl, wearing traditional clothes. This is again not an old photo, a recent updated photo of a Persian fashion designer. But if you look at the motifs, if you look at the colors, if you look at the signs that we have in these clothes, you can understand that today we are really looking for our identity. We need our identity. We need to use it, but we need it to translate to today's language. And sometimes, in some other cases, we have some installation arts in different countries and different projects that are trying to show a sign, that are trying to show a meaning, maybe a traditional meaning, maybe a traditional sign, but as I said, translating to today. So the big question is this: the local identity in a modern context. Again, we are talking about identity, and then we should accept that we should be updated, we should live in modern society, but how we can keep, how we can encode, and how we can think about the future is the most important thing that we are looking for. This is maybe a philosophical question that usually we have in our projects. Who am I? A very important question in our daily life, in our daily works, in our daily projects. I wrote a sentence here: your existence is a message to the world around you to introduce yourself. For example, if I ask who is Maite, maybe her friend says that she's a programmer, researcher, or do something like this. These are the things that we are talking about, appearance, or maybe the job of her. Maybe if I ask these questions by more details from the friends who are more close to her, says that yes, she will be happy by this way, or she will be angry by that way. These are some other things that close friends, close relationships may know. But I'm coming to the next slide that maybe just we ourselves can know about this question. I don't know, have you this experience before or not? Usually men less and ladies more use mirrors in different hours of the days. Maybe the men just for clothing, but the ladies for makeup and something more. I have a question about this. Have you ever this experience or not? Or sometimes look at the mirror. If you have not this experience, please examine it. Please try it. I think you will have a special feeling. You will look at the mirror, but more than some seconds, more than some minutes. And then you will see someone else inside the mirror. And this person will feel strange. Maybe this person will not know who is this person. And this is the big questions, big, let me say, revolution that we start from identity. Maybe when Maite look at the mirror in this case, know something about Maite that no one else notices. This is the identity that we ourselves notice. If you have not experienced this, I think try it, because I'm sure that you will have a special feeling. Maybe the way that you look around yourself, the way that you look around your life seems very different. So I had this example to say that how identity is important. Another thing that I'm talking about identity is where, when am I in? So by this question, location, time will be more bolded, and we will more pay attention to this. Why identity, the meaning of identity will change in different places and in different times and different locations. So I am just having these stories to come to this conclusion. What are the important meanings of tradition and modernity? Then I will talk about this in design. The keywords related to identity can be geography, can be history, can be culture, can be society, can be user, can be religion, can be tradition, and can be modernity. The meaning of this can be different in different positions, in different cases. So I have two case studies about tradition, past, and identity, and then we will come to some conclusions. The case study one is identity in us, architecture and interior design. Look at this project, please. The geographical location of this project is in Iran, East, Middle East. History and the time of this building is Qajar era, which to somehow about 120 years ago. And culture, society, and identity are inspired of religion. I want to explain you the plan of this project. It has 2 yards. One is here and one is here, and this house is for a rich person. So when a user is coming, should come from the outside, and they cannot open the door directly, and they cannot continue you pass directly. Look at this plan, please. This is very interesting. I want to explain this to you. I am the user. The project is a 2-yard house. I am a user. Here is the door of this house. So first, I have to knock the door. There are 2 knockers. The first one is not so heavy, it's light. The left one is more heavy. So if I be a man, a male, I should knock by this, that if some women be inside, know that the one who is on the back of the door is a male. If I be a woman, a female, I should knock this, and by this way, they will know that the lady is on the back of the door. So, this house is the house of a rich person in that era, 120 years ago. It has 2 yards. Here are some people who are working for the owner of the house. This place is for the guests, and the last one is the private person for the owner of the house and maybe for his ladies. So we have 3 levels for going to the last part. I knock the door, and the worker inside this yard knew that there is a man inside. Okay? Then they will not come directly. They will come to this place. We have photo here, which is called hashti. Hashti means a pause place. I mean, you will not open the door and directly come inside. You have to stay and have a pause and have permission from the person who is inside, and then you can join. And while you are walking by this corridor, you should speak loudly and say that hello, 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 with a loud male voice, that for guarantee the persons who are inside that know that a man is coming. So they have a scarf or something like this. But the geography, the location is Iran, Middle East. The religion is Islam, but the time is 120 years ago. Today it's not like this. Today everything is completely changed. Now we have another opposite example of this. We have the same in Iran, in Istanbul, and I just, as a case study here for architecture and interior design, I mentioned this for West. So the time and its story is today, 2025. Culture, society, identity are inspired of global effects. This project is called a novel house. The previous projects have lots of steps, have lots of pause places. The second one, you can walk, you can sleep, you can take shower and anything, and there is no wall. Just maybe some walls for shower, and not because of the transparency, just because everywhere not be wet. So, which of them do you prefer? The location changed, the time is changed, the geography is changed. How about identity? How about the traditions? Maybe even in today's life, we can find some people say that we not prefer such kinds of house. If we talk about economy, the price of both the houses be the same, the location of the both houses be the same. But because of identity of that user, maybe they can select this one or maybe select the previous one. By the way, if you have any question in the middle of my speech, you can raise your hand and someone maybe translate, or maybe at the end. I will be so happy to have discussion at the end. So we came to a good question, says that what is the tradition, what is the modernity? In Tramod Academy, we are working about the interactions between these two importance. So from identity, I came to culture, and culture, I came to tradition, and we are talking about the projects. It's an installation art in Saudi Arabia. The form of this project is completely inspired of traditional mosque, but when you are in a mosque, you have to pray, and it cannot have this transparency, because the people who are praying should focus on Qibla and not looking around. So this is the opposite meaning. The right one is a mosque designed by an Italian architect in London, in England. So the form is completely modern. The form is completely updated. The motifs are completely new, but you can understand the rules and traditions of religion places. In this mosque, the woman and man should be different places, the entrance, the exit, the way of Qibla and all the things. But the form is completely used for today's user. This is the things that we are focusing on it. We have different description about tradition, maybe something that comes from the past, maybe something that we keep it and we want to repeat and repeat and repeat, and so many other description of what tradition can be. Exactly in the same case, we have the modernity. I mean, the definition of modernity, we know when it started, and then we have post-modernity, and then we have now digital era, and then we are going to the future, artificial intelligence, and many different and strange things are happening. But by studying this past, today's, and future, we should come to a conclusion that who we are and how do we want to have our life, how do we want to continue the way of our culture, our society. We are talking about the relationship between tradition and modernity. An important thing that today we have in our fashion shows, fashion events, textile things, and I look around with Maite, and I saw some brands even here are looking for something like this, how they can use some colors from a carpet and change it to a special textile and then use it in a modern, beautiful lady, and how will be the conclusion of this. Again, the words that we can use before tradition and modernity can be different. It can be interaction, it can be understanding, it can be conflict. And we are not judging that which of them is better. Are we going to have conflict? Are we going to have understanding? Are we going to have interaction? The thing that is important, they can have a dialogue, they can be friends, and they cannot bother each other. Even sometimes, even though they have conflicts with each other, but they don't bother each other. The thing that's important is this. This is a mosque in China. The form of the mosque is not looks like a mosque. They don't have minarets. They don't have anything that is related to this. But if you look at this case, they have the path of man and woman and the way of Qibla and all the rules that is needed for religion place. But it has a new form. It has a new language. It has a new dialogue for the persons who are using of today. So in the previous case, maybe we can use understanding before tradition and modernity. And here is Qatar, another country, and this is an Islamic center. And you can see that these kinds of the forms are completely modern, but the motifs, the fonts that they use on this building shows that they are going to have some interactions between tradition and modernity. Sometimes they can be conflict, and the case that I have studied here is from the West, from Germany, Austria. I took this picture myself. Here is Graz, Austria, a traditional house in Germany that, according to the rules of the city, all of the cities should be traditional like this. They want to keep the identity of 18th centuries maybe. But suddenly you are walking and you see this huge, different and strange building. This is Art House of Graz. And there is a place in Graz city, you look to the city from a top of a mountain, you can see that all the city are green, like this building is shining. But they don't bother each other. You are walking and walking, and suddenly you see a different case. There is a conflict, but it doesn't bother the user. So sometimes the word before tradition and modernity can be conflict. Again, in the right picture, we have the same. We have a traditional building with the traditional materials, with the traditional things, but suddenly a fractal, sharp places, materials you can see. Sometimes we can have it in interior design too. In interior design, the right picture on the up is a traditional Iranian bathroom. You know, bathrooms in traditions and cultural aspects was some public places that people were going to wash themselves, to dance, to eat and something, and they were not like today's users just taking a shower quickly and go out. They will maybe stay for more than 4 or 5 hours and enjoying their time. So you can see the motifs, you can see the different things on the top, on the ceilings. And this is a photography studio that has been designed by one of the most famous Iranian interior design studios called Rena Design that have used these forms but in a minimal white color, in a special case to show how it can have interaction between tradition and modernity in interior design. We have interaction also in fashion. Sometimes the interaction of traditional fabrics and textile with a modern atmosphere. The word again that we can hear is interaction. Can I ask how many minutes I have? 15, okay. About textile and fashion, I found some special projects that I want to share with you. Sometimes they are something like a show. Maybe sometimes they are something like installation. But maybe when you are passing, you are seeing such kinds of projects to say, wow, or what interesting. Or maybe it can be a way of design thinking in design, textile, and fashion upcoming projects. So here we have traditional fabrics with a traditional context, with a modern model, with a modern user. Sometimes we had this in product design. You know, the carpet, Persian carpets are very famous everywhere. These are young student groups. These projects owned to young students groups, 18, 19-year-old, and design such kinds of great projects. They directly try to have pass beside modernity. So the sentence that I have here is conflict. Yes, there is a bold conflict in this project, but friendship without dialogue, even though there is a conflict and even though maybe they don't have dialogue with each other, but the things that is really important is that they are friends with each other. They don't bother each other. Again, here we have in the left slide, in the left picture, we have a modern user, modern T-shirt, but maybe a traditional textile, traditional clothes, and also the hat, and also the makeup, and also the background. You know, again, here there is a friendship between past and today, even though there is no dialogue, even though there isn't any basis. Now, there are some young generation that even take some good photos, I think, in their design projects. In the right picture is a fish, traditional fish place. The clothes are completely tradition, but you can feel that the user is modern, and the atmosphere they have take photo is the same case. I'm coming to the last parts of my presentations, the establishing a dialogue using traditional architecture motifs. As I said, these are Iranian traditional motifs in architecture, in fashion and textile design. They are some most favorite cases that today's young generation are interested in. Or here is the interest of a mosque, a beautiful blue. This is called Persian blue. And this Persian blue, these Persian motifs, again, have been used in a minimal but modern and very fantastic clothes. Again, here you can see traditional geometry, modern creations. So we have such kinds of fractal and these kinds of geometry and motifs on the ceiling of places in architecture. But the fashion designers, the textile designers have used it in a new modern format that you can see. For shoes, for other cases, you can see that it's now a very favorite style that the young generation in the East, in the Middle East country are using. And I think it's a very good idea too. Traditional basis and modern feelings. You will keep it. You will keep the past, but you are not living in the past. This is the things that we are going to talk about. Conclusion of this presentation, I should say that paying attention to the past, culture, identities, tradition are very important in today's life. But the things that is important, what is the solution? How can we have these factors beside each other? So in our academy, we are studying about this. We are not looking for the direct results. We are reviewing what is happening, but this reviewing maybe by studying this interaction, these conflicts, we can come to conclusion that how they can be used in today, how we can get some fast, and how we can mix them, how we can create a dialogue and interaction between these two cases. I am finishing my presentation by introducing Tramod Academy. We know more about, if you know, we want to know more about Tramod Academy, tradition and modernity, you can follow us, you can check our website and our pages. We are professionally working on these cases, how tradition and modernity can be beside each other. We have international awards, the world's best architecture, interior and fashion design are our juries. And today we are going to, this year we are going to have again, we have exhibitions, we have seminars in this case. And this was the things that I want to share with you. You can be in touch with us. Once again, I want to thank Inex Moda and all the great and fantastic team for inviting me. I came from the other part of the world. I think around 70 hours I was on the flight, but I'm so pleased and so happy to be here. And thank you again, and in Spanish, if I will write, gracias. Thank you.